Hello and welcome to the Art of Building a Business. I'm Lucas,
And I'm Jakub.
and in today's episode, we are going to talk about niching down, or to be specific, why you should niche down, or maybe you shouldn't.
I think we wouldn't choose this topic, this title, if we were to talk about
Exactly.
why you should not niche down. I bet there are some reasons, but I feel like most of them are not valid ones for most people. So today's topic is why you should niche down, and we have some points that we want to talk about. Benefits of niching down, common fears that people feel when they want to niche down, and also how we niched down our own business.
Yes. And first of all, we want to thank you for your feedback. We upgraded our audio, like you can probably hear and see there. And we also upgraded our video. But what is the most important thing? We started out.
Yes, we wouldn't know what to improve if we didn't start out. So
Exactly.
if we were to talk about niching down, I think we should define some definitions, what we mean by niche, and to be kind of specific, I would say a niche is a segment of a market, and I split niching to two areas. You can niche vertically and niche horizontally. And to give an example, let's say you have a marketing agency that helps businesses with marketing, very broad market, very broad thing, marketing. And if we were to niche down vertically, that marketing agency would say that we are a marketing agency that helps automotive industry with marketing. Very specific market, but still a very broad thing to do. And if we were to niche down vertically, we would say we are a marketing agency that helps businesses, broad market, and that helps with, let's say, Facebook ads or search engine optimization, something very specific. The thing that you do is very specific in the horizontal niche. So niching down is just the act, the thing, doing the thing of niching and going from a broad thing like marketing agency that helps with marketing to something very specific like a marketing agency that helps automotive industry with Facebook ads, for example. So you wanted to talk about the four benefits of niching down today?
Yes. We prepared a list that we want to talk about today, which are improved efficiency. That's the first point. The second one is that it's easier to manage the scope. And we are also facing increased credibility and increased awareness of your business.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the improved efficiency first?
Yes. So, what is improved efficiency? Improved efficiency helps you get better faster in solving specific problems because you are doing these things constantly again and again and again, and you becoming more and more,
Just better at the thing.
yes,
Like in this example with marketing agencies, you would say that specializing in Facebook ads just makes you better at Facebook ads. So you can make the ads better and faster. That's what you mean?
yes, exactly.
All right.
Exactly. You can increase your margins, so you will make more money per hour because this is on your side.
Depending on your pricing architecture, but still, it's a valid point that you will just make things faster. So if you charge even the same amount, you could probably charge more because doing something faster is a value in itself.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, and also you probably get better, so you get do better things. So you do better things in a shorter amount of time, so you can make more money per hour.
Yeah.
Great. So
The next point is closely connected to the first one because it's easier to manage your scope, which is really beneficial and crucial in building a business and cooperation with the clients.
And what do you mean? I will interrupt. What do you mean by scope?
I mean borders of the project that you are delivering to the client.
So things that I will do for the client.
Yes, exactly. Like the agreement that you are making between you and the client.
Mhm.
And at the beginning of your cooperation, client and you know what you will deliver and like the average amount of money that he will have to pay for this service.
Unless you give fixed prices and
Yeah.
the client knows exactly what he will pay. But what you're trying to say here is that niching down and specializing will help companies just define the scope better,
Yeah.
predict what is going to happen in the project, and therefore
You can predict what it takes to deliver the whole project.
any risk and etc.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
all right.
It's calculated. The third and fourth point, can you talk a little bit more about them?
My
Kuba?
points.
Yeah.
So when we were preparing the list with Lucas, I told him that I also see niching down not as the internal thing, because his points were more internal, improved efficiency, and you are getting better at what you do. And also it's easy to manage scope, which comes with the relationship with the client, but it's still pretty internal. I mentioned increased credibility, which is just the fact that someone trusts you. And how niching down helps? I believe it helps because let's say you had to go through a brain surgery and you wouldn't just want to go to a surgeon who would say, yes, I can do the surgery for you. And you would ask,
I will check in ChatGPT.
yeah, how to do it yourself.
DIY.
Yeah, do it yourself. Great. And if you were to ask the brain surgeon, the surgeon, if he ever did a brain surgery before, if he told you that, no, I ever did, but I feel I can figure it out, or maybe with ChatGPT, you wouldn't trust him. And you would rather go to a brain surgeon that did many of those surgeries. And it's the same with professional services. We want people who can prove with case studies, books, maybe some other content that they know what they do. And it builds credibility, it builds trust, and helps you as a business owner sell your services. That's how I see it.
And what about increased awareness of your
Yeah.
business?
So if we think about the previous points, we had improved efficiency that I can see at the center. It's your company. You have the improved scope, which is like the outer layer when there comes a relationship with the client and you define what you will do. The other outer layer would be credibility. So the client trusts you and wants to talk with you and define the project, the scope of the project. And there is the most outer layer, which is awareness. And it's about, there are so many people in the world, but they don't know about you, about your business, and what you do to increase awareness of your business. And I believe when you niche down, it's just easier to create content that people relate to. So let's say you are a physiotherapist
Mm-hmm.
and you wanted to increase awareness of your business. You could try to write content about sports, about having maybe a good diet, because it kind of relates to a good body, and it would be very generic. And now if you niche down to being a physiotherapist who helps people with knee injuries,
Mm-hmm.
if I had a knee injury and I was looking for someone on the internet, or maybe I already knew about you on TikTok or Instagram or somewhere I saw your posts, I would already be aware of your business. And when I think about knee surgery, or maybe not surgery, sorry, knee after a knee surgery, I want
Mhm.
to go back to good form. I would think about your business and come to you probably. There comes credibility, etc., etc. But you knew what content to create a headspace in my head.
Yeah. So you know who you are talking to and who you want to sell your services.
Yeah, it just makes easier to create content. And the biggest objection that comes here is like, what about big businesses? They do not niche down, most of them.
Yeah.
And I believe the biggest like argument against going broad is that you don't have as big of a budget as the big companies have. They have huge budgets for marketing and they can go very broad. But I guess if you're listening to this podcast, you probably don't have such a huge budget. So that's one thing. It's just easier to spend X amount of money in a specific market and get as much value as you can from this market. And the other counter argument is that many businesses like Amazon, for example, they started with selling books, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Amazon started like that.
Nike started with selling running shoes, etc., etc. So many of those businesses just started with some niche, and they increased, made their business bigger and had more budget, so they could broaden the market because they probably were already dominating some niche that they were targeting before.
Yeah. So if you're a big company, you have money to hire specialists. When you don't have money and you are a small business, you can become a specialist in one or two areas, but you won't be specialist in the whole market, right? So
Yeah.
that's why you probably shouldn't go abroad, but you should go with niching down.
Yeah, that's also right.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about the fears that people feel when they want to niche down?
Yeah. I have some ideas on why people might be scared of niching down, which are loss aversion,
Right.
imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
boredom, fear of shrinking brain syndrome, and picking the wrong niche.
And to be fair, those are taken from Philip's Morgan post. Philip Morgan is a consultant, and I took those from his article. They are so well articulated that I just had to, let's say, steal them because they are so good. So thank you, Philip, if you are listening to this podcast.
Thank you.
So could you tell a little bit more about the imposter syndrome? It's very interesting to me.
Yeah. It's like, it's an interesting feeling, the imposter syndrome, because at the beginning, you are not specialist and you are trying to niche down and you want to become one. And this syndrome, it's about feeling that I can't do it, what I am telling that I am gonna deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the scary feeling that you will face at the beginning of building your own business. It's probably you can just overpass it or something. You can't. You will face it probably.
So you mean like, if let's say I'm running a marketing agency, or I'm just a marketer, it will be more personal. So I'm saying that I'm a marketer, and I've been saying that for years. And now, let's say we won't tell if it's a good or bad decision, but we want to niche down and become a specialist in Facebook marketing. And I imagine that person that says that was a broad marketer, now says that he is a Facebook specialist when it comes to Facebook ads. And you may realize how little you know about Facebook and marketing on Facebook. Before that, you could do many things, but they were maybe not very shallow, but shallow. And now you want to tell the world that you are specialist in Facebook marketing and you realize how little you know. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly the point.
All right. What I also noticed, the second fear is loss aversion.
Yeah.
People, when they want to niche down or are thinking about niching down, they feel like if they niche down and choose a specific market, like this marketing agency targeting automotive industry, they start to fear that they will push away all the clients that don't fit their niche. And it may or may not happen, because if you are a generalist and people wanted to work with you anyway, then if they trust you, even though you are specialized niche down on some industry, they will probably still want to work with you. But even if they didn't, people are so loss averse that they don't realize that you gain so much from niching down. People treat you differently. They trust you. You have similar clients, so you build case studies and stuff. So people are willing to pay more. So you make more money per unit of time, and it just becomes like a better business with more margins. So that's what I see when it comes to fear. So loss aversion. So you talked a little bit about imposter syndrome. I talked a little bit more about loss aversion. We also have boredom. What do you think about boredom? Why people are so afraid of being bored when it comes to niching down?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because here's where the psychology comes in, and probably they are scared that after delivering 1 or 2 or 3 services, serving their clients, they will feel like, nah, it's not for me. I don't feel it anymore. And they're going to feel
that it's the same. It's the same over and over. Is that where the feeling comes from? Because you are doing the same thing over and over, and there is
Yes, but there is more to that. Even if it's not the same always, you may face that the niche that you choose, like for example, automotive industry, and doing Facebook ads for them, it's not it anymore. And you may face different challenges, but you are solving similar problems. It's close to doing the same thing again and again, but it's not the same.
Right. And why do you think it's wrong, let's say, to feel that fear? Not wrong to feel that, but why it's what's the counter argument for that fear?
You can change it anytime.
That's one thing. But also I believe that getting better at a thing makes it more interesting. The more better I got at programming, the more interested I was about programming. At the beginning, I couldn't do much. The more I learned, the more interested I was about it. And it's about the skill, but it's the same with industries that I was working with. In the beginning, I didn't know much about some industry, and I was working a lot lately with financial industry. So the more I learned about it, the more nuances I saw in those industries, and I could just lead the client better. And it feels great to lead the client. And to lead the client, you need confidence. And it just becomes more interesting when people trust you so much. You have so much influence. So
yeah, but your values and your needs, your beliefs can change during the process. So that's maybe also the reason why people sometimes feel boredom. Like, it's not mine anymore. It's that feeling.
True. Like, you can love programming for so many years and then want to change it for some reason.
Yeah.
And that's the last point on our list, being the wrong niche. And I think we had the same counter argument for that. You can always change it. It's not a face tattoo.
Yeah.
And it's easy to change, especially when you are a smaller company or just starting out. If you are a bigger company, it's probably easier to just create a service that is targeted for some specific niche and test the waters and see how good it is. But you can always change it.
Yeah. And it is important to define what does it mean to pick the wrong niche. I think that we can discuss about it, because what does it mean
I think-
that you are picking the wrong niche?
I think it's about the feeling that not only the feeling, but maybe the results are not good enough for you. You don't bring enough clients, but is it about the wrong niche or your moves? Well, maybe your moves are wrong and your niche is fine.
Yeah. And is it wrong that you have not enough clients?
I think it's wrong if you want to have more clients and more money, and you niche down as a strategy for your business to make more money, I guess. So if you don't make more money thanks to niching out, then something is wrong. The other thing,
but this is a lesson for you, and you
Mhm.
will learn what to change in the future. And when you will change the niche, you will have this experience from the previous niche.
yeah,
So did you choose the wrong niche, or did you choose the niche that gives you a lesson?
yeah, that's the mindset, but
Yeah.
that's what people fear, that they will lose time. And we could argue if it's losing time really, but they learned something about their business, market, and their needs. Maybe they don't like the niche that they decided to go with. Maybe they don't like people who run those businesses. That's fine. You can always change it. Anyway, let's go to the last point of fear of shrinking brain syndrome. And it's written like that in the article. And what I think Philip tried to say by that, and how I feel it, because I was niching down also, not only in our business, but in my previous endeavors. So people are afraid when they niche down. Let's say I specialize in Facebook, and then somebody comes to work on TikTok, and I wouldn't feel as confident as with TikTok as with Facebook. And I would have to say, I don't know how to increase revenue with TikTok. And we don't want to say, I don't know, we want to feel competent. So that's one of the fears, I believe. But it's also, I think like it's misguided, because when you start to charge more and make more money, you can spend less time just running the business, and you can spend sometimes improving your skills or your employee skills on those other areas like Facebook. If you want, if you need, if it just makes you interested, or you want to combine marketing with programming, you can spend your time learning programming, because you make more money, so you can spend less time on running the business and spend more time learning new stuff that you think like is shrinking your brain right now because you are specialized. Would you like to add something to it, or no?
No, that's a great summary of this point. So I
Alright.
liked it.
So I'd like to summarize all of it,
Yeah.
and we'll talk a little bit about our niche, current niche.
Yes, exactly. So to sum up, we believe that niching down is great idea to
Really great idea.
build a business from scratch. If you are building small or medium-sized business, I think it's crucial to you to niche down.
Mhm.
Yeah, the improved efficiency is huge. It's easier to manage the scope, so you can set better prices. You know what you deliver. You are getting better faster, because
Yep.
you know the direction that you are coming to. So that's a really game changer to niche down. Like, it's the first thing that you should do, I believe. Do you want to add something to this summary?
Yeah, I would just like to go through them like bullet points. So you have improved efficiency. It's easier to manage scope, increased credibility. People trust you more.
Yeah.
And you have increased awareness of your business. What most people call marketing. It's just people know about your business. There are many, many more benefits. We could probably think of dozen more of them, but those are the most crucial that I could think of. And let's summarize also the most common fears. The fear of loss aversion. but we don't think about all the benefits that we get. The feeling of being an imposter, so the imposter syndrome, but it's something you have to go through anyway. Boredom, and I think it's misaligned because getting better is just more interesting, even if it doesn't sound intuitive at the beginning. Fear of shrinking brain syndrome, which can be counter-argumented with the fact that you will have more time to learn other stuff. And the last thing, picking the wrong niche, which can be, you can always change the niche, right? So, do you want to talk about our niche now?
Yes.
Shortly.
So at the end, we wanted to tell you about niche that we choose for NWC.
Yes, because we didn't want to just talk about niching down and not following our own advice. We follow our own advice.
Yes. Like you heard in the previous episode that we are building alongside of the podcast second business, which is CRO business, which is called No Wasted Clicks, NWC.
Yeah.
And we are at the time when we had to choose the niche. That's why we chose this topic to talk about today. So, do you want, Kuba, to tell our niche?
Yeah, shortly, because there are so many deals involved. And our niche is conversion rate optimization for software as a service businesses. And a few caveats to it. First of all, I think it's more important to talk about benefits. So I said conversion rate optimization, but how does it help the business? So I think it would be better, but it's more about positioning, not niching. That we help increase conversions from trials, so people try your product, to customers that pay. So that's a benefit that we help to achieve those businesses that we target. But to keep it simple, it's conversion rate optimization. And the other caveat is that software as a service is still pretty broad, but we didn't want to go narrower because we still don't know who we will attract. Maybe those will be bootstrapped businesses, or maybe some funded in some specific funding process right now. So all of those businesses have different needs. Bootstrapped businesses that are self-funded are more hesitant to spend money. They really want to get some return of investment. But when it comes to startups that are founded, they are willing to take more risk because they are not paying from their own money, the founders. So that's our niche, conversion rate optimization for software as a service businesses.
Exactly. And that would be it for today. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And see you guys in the next episode.
Ciao.
See you. Bye.